Alright, let's journey into a world smaller than the eye can see, a place filled with some of the most incredible creatures on our planet. Today we're talking about an animal so tough it makes most other life forms look fragile. This creature is the tardigrade, a microscopic animal that has been fascinating scientists for centuries. It was first discovered way back in 1773 by a German pastor named Johann August Ephraim Goeze. He found these tiny critters living in water and noticed they walked with a slow, lumbering gait, almost like a bear. Because of this, he gave them the wonderful nickname water bears, a name that perfectly captures their charming, plodding movement. These amazing animals are true global citizens. You can find tardigrades almost anywhere on Earth, proving that size has nothing to do with being a successful species. They live in the highest mountains, soaring far above the clouds, and in the deepest parts of the ocean, under immense pressure. They've been discovered in the scorching heat of deserts and in the freezing ice of Antarctica. They can even be found in your own backyard, living in the thin film of water on mosses and lichens. This incredible adaptability means that no matter where you are, you're probably not too far from a tardigrade, going about its tiny, extraordinary life. When you hear the name water bear, you might picture something cuddly, but these animals are truly unique in their appearance. They are invertebrates, meaning they don't have a backbone. Their bodies are short and plump, divided into 4 segments plus a head. Each of these body segments has a pair of stubby, unjointed legs, so in total, they have 8 legs that they use to move around their watery world. Their slow and deliberate walk earned them their scientific name, tardigrade, which means slow stepper. They truly amble through life, taking their time as they explore their microscopic environments with a steady, unhurried pace. The discovery of tardigrades opened up a whole new understanding of what life is capable of. Before Goeze spotted them under his microscope, no one could have imagined that an animal this small could be so complex and resilient. These creatures challenge our very definition of what it means to be alive and to survive. They are a testament to nature's ingenuity, showing us that even the smallest life forms can possess the most astonishing abilities. They are not just a scientific curiosity, they are a source of wonder and inspiration, reminding us of the hidden marvels that exist all around us, often just out of sight, waiting to be discovered. Let's dive deeper into the world of the water bear and explore what makes it tick. These creatures are incredibly small, typically measuring between 1/10 to 1.5 millimeters long. To put that into perspective, you could line up several of them on the head of a pin. Despite their tiny size, their bodies are quite detailed. Their 8 legs end in sharp claws which look like tiny hooks. These claws are made of a tough material called chitin, the same stuff that makes up the exoskeletons of insects. They use their front 6 legs to push themselves forward and grab onto food, while the back 2 legs often act as anchors, helping them hold on tight. Their anatomy is simple, but effective. Tardigrades don't have lungs or gills like many other animals do. Instead, they perform gas exchange directly through their body surface, absorbing the oxygen they need from the water around them. Their head region contains a simple brain and in many species a pair of primitive eye cups. These eye cups don't see images like our eyes do, but they can detect light and shadow, helping the tardigrade navigate its environment. They also have sensory bristles on their bodies that can feel vibrations, allowing them to sense what's happening nearby, whether it's a potential meal or a lurking threat. When it comes to eating, tardigrades have a very specialized tool. Inside their tube-shaped mouth they have a pair of sharp needle-like structures called stylets. They use these stylets to pierce the cells of their food, which includes media group, video of tardigrade feeding on algae, footage of tardigrade near moss under microscope at its stock, @distribute_equally, algae, moss, and even other tiny invertebrates like rotifers and nematodes. Once they've pierced their target, they suck out the nutritious fluids inside, almost like they're drinking from a microscopic juice box. This method of feeding is incredibly efficient, and allows them to get the energy they need to power their tiny bodies and survive in their often challenging habitats. There are over 1,000 known species of tardigrades, and they are divided into different classes based on their features. The 2 main classes are the Eutardigrada and the Heterotardigrada. One of the key differences between them is how their bodies are structured for reproduction and waste removal. But regardless of their specific class, all tardigrades share that same fundamental body plan: a segmented body, 8 legs, and a remarkable ability to thrive in places where most other animals simply couldn't. Their simple yet powerful design is a masterclass in evolutionary efficiency, perfected over hundreds of millions of years. The life of a tardigrade is a fascinating cycle of growth and renewal. One of the most interesting things about them is a biological trait called eudaly. This means that a tardigrade is born with all the cells it will ever have. As it grows from a tiny hatchling into an adult, its cells don't divide and multiply like ours do. Instead, each individual cell simply gets bigger. To accommodate this growth, a tardigrade must molt or shed its outer cuticle several times throughout its life. This process is similar to how a snake sheds its skin, allowing the animal to expand and continue its development. Reproduction for tardigrades is often tied directly to this molting process. In many species, the female lays her eggs inside her old shed cuticle. This provides a safe, protected environment for the developing embryos. After she has deposited the eggs, a male will come along and fertilize them. This courtship can be a lengthy process, sometimes lasting for over an hour, as the male ensures the next generation is secured. The eggs will then develop inside this protective casing until they are ready to hatch, at which point tiny, fully formed tardigrades emerge, ready to begin their own journey of growth and survival. The number of eggs a female lays can vary, ranging from just a few to over a dozen, depending on the species and the environmental conditions. These eggs are just as tough as the adults, often capable of surviving many of the same extreme conditions. Once hatched, the young tardigrades look like miniature versions of the adults. They immediately begin to explore their surroundings, searching for food to fuel their growth. Each time they molt, they get a little bit bigger, until they reach their full adult size and are ready to reproduce themselves, continuing the incredible life cycle of the water bear. This cycle of molting, reproduction, and growth has been repeating for an incredibly long time. Tardigrades have been on this planet for over 500 million years, which means they have survived every major mass extinction event in Earth's history, including the one that wiped out the dinosaurs. Their unique way of growing and reproducing has clearly been a successful strategy, allowing them to persist through unimaginable changes to our planet's environment. They are a living link to a deep, ancient past, and their simple yet effective life cycle is a key part of their enduring legacy as one of nature's greatest survivors. Now we get to the most famous thing about tardigrades: their unbelievable toughness. These animals can survive conditions that would be instantly fatal to almost any other form of life. One of their most incredible skills is their ability to enter a state of suspended animation called cryptobiosis. When faced with a life-threatening environment like complete dehydration, a tardigrade can expel nearly all the water from its body, up to 97% of it. It shrivels up into a tiny, lifeless-looking ball called a ton. In this state, its metabolism slows down to almost zero, and it can wait patiently for conditions to improve. The range of extremes a tardigrade can endure is simply mind-boggling. They can survive temperatures as low as near absolute zero, which is negative 273 degrees Celsius, or negative 459 degrees Fahrenheit, and as high as 150 degrees Celsius, or 302 degrees Fahrenheit, for short periods. They can withstand pressures 6 times greater than those found in the deepest part of the ocean, the Mariana Trench. In 2007, scientists sent tardigrades into space on a European Space Agency mission. They were exposed to the vacuum of outer space and deadly solar radiation, and when they returned to Earth and were rehydrated, many of them survived and even went on to reproduce. Their ability to withstand radiation is particularly astounding. They can tolerate doses of radiation up to 1,000 times higher than the lethal dose for humans. Scientists have discovered that they have a special protein nicknamed the damage suppressor, which seems to wrap around their DNA and shield it from harm. This natural radiation shield is a subject of intense research, as it could have incredible applications in medicine and technology. Furthermore, some species of tardigrades can survive without food for an astonishingly long time, potentially up to 30 years, by entering their dormant ton state and waiting for a meal to come along. It's important to clarify that tardigrades are not technically extremophiles, organisms that are adapted to live and thrive in extreme environments all the time. Instead, they are what we call extremely tolerant. They live in normal, watery places but have evolved this incredible toolkit that allows them to survive temporary exposure to deadly conditions. This strategy has made them one of the most resilient animal phyla on the planet. They are a powerful reminder that, in nature, survival isn't always about being the biggest or the strongest. Sometimes it's about having the patience and the ability to endure.